Boys, the video we're about to dive into is slightly more tailored for beginners because it's a full intro guide to high ticket sales, exactly how it works, how much you can earn, what will determine how much you can earn, what the benefits are, who actually hires for these roles, and more. So, a ton of value for those of you that are looking to become high ticket closers, or if you are an experienced closer, there's still some value you'll be able to take from this as well. So, lock in, enjoy. I always like to start off any of my lessons. I like to start off by defining what we're actually talking about. Okay, so what is high ticket sales? And if we think about that phrase, it has two parts to it, right? We've got high ticket and we've got sales. Now, the high ticket part, what that means is simply products or services that are priced above $3,000. Okay, but more typically, when you're a high ticket closer, what you're going to be selling is more often above $5,000. So the average range of what you'll be selling is between $5,000 to $15,000. So that's what high ticket means, anything that's priced above $3,000. And then we've got another aspect of that phrase, sales, which nice and simply is the exchange of money for a product or service. And what these are, guys, what you're going to be selling and what you're going to be closing, these are not your everyday purchases, and therefore selling high ticket products and services, it requires skill, okay? But it is a skill that, if mastered, can completely financially transform your life. And it can transform your life in more ways than just money, as we're going to get into in just a second, okay? But ultimately it requires skill, and that's what this program is for. It's designed to give you the foundational principles, the fundamentals of high ticket sales, which is what we cover in Module 1. It's designed to give you the correct mindset and beliefs to actually close high ticket deals, which is Module 2. It's designed to give you the specific applicable skills to close high ticket sales, which is what we cover in Module 3. And it's designed to give you a system, the network, and the process to actually secure a great high ticket sales role with a great company. And then beyond that, it's designed to give you the continued training to take your high ticket sales skills from good to elite, which is what we cover in Module 5, as well as the ongoing live coaching with me, okay? Ultimately, what we're doing here is giving you the knowledge, the skills, the beliefs, and the mindset to be able to close high ticket sales and make absolutely life-changing money for both yourself and your family. I've experienced this firsthand, just how much this can change your life. And it's why, if you haven't already been able to tell, it's why I'm so passionate about this, okay? So how does it actually work? Now, you can think of your role in high ticket sales or high ticket closing as a middleman, okay? So what happens is you are the middleman between a potential customer who's booked in a call to speak about potentially buying that company's product or service and then being a customer, okay? They're a potential customer and them actually being a customer, you are that middleman. So your role is to act as the bridge between the company's online marketing and them being a paying customer. Now, what does that actually mean? It means that you are the cash collector. You are the revenue generator. You play the most important role in that company, and that's why you get paid very, very well. Think about it. A company, what does it need to survive? It needs cash coming in. It needs revenue coming in. And if you are the person that brings that revenue in, guess what? You play the most important role, and that's why you get paid very, very well, okay? So here's a little bit more detail. This is the exact sequence of what happens in high-ticket sales. So I've put together this image here, and what will happen is a company runs online marketing, and there's typically 3 different types of online marketing that they run. We've got paid ads, which is typically Facebook ads, Instagram ads, or Google ads, or YouTube ads. And then we've got inbound. So what that is people and companies that have maybe a big following on social media. Maybe they've got a lot of subscribers on YouTube or a big following on Instagram. They drive people to a call. And then the final one, this one is not really that common, and this is called outbound. So if you think about like cold email, cold calling, cold messaging. And don't worry, guys, I want to put this straight out there. You are not in this role going to have to cold call one bit whatsoever. Your job is just to simply take the call, okay? It's a beautiful benefit of being a closer. You'd have to be a little bit of a psychopath to enjoy cold calling, but don't worry, you're not going to have to be doing any type of cold messaging, cold emailing, cold calling. Your job is just to simply take the call, okay? So that's what happens. So first step, the company will run that online marketing. And what that does is, as you can see in the diagram, all of this marketing, all roads lead to a booked call with you. So the potential customer, and by the way, you can also call them prospects, what happens is they see this marketing, they get interested, and they book a call. Okay, so they'll schedule a day and time, and what will happen is between booking the call and the actual day and time of the call, they'll receive reminders via email, via text, and sometimes a phone call. You won't have to be the one doing the phone call, but sometimes they'll receive a phone call from the company. This is what's called a pre-call sequence, okay? It's designed to warm prospects up for conversion, build that trust, build that desire before they get onto the call with you, and also just maximize the amount of prospects that are actually showing up, okay? And there's a metric that we track that with, and that metric is called show up rate. Then what happened is, so just to very quickly recap, so the company runs the online marketing. That brings potential customers who book in a call because they're interested in buying that company's product or service. And then the prospect will show up on the day and time of the call, okay? And the calls are conducted over Zoom in 90% of cases. And what happens is you as the closer, you take the call and you run them through the sales process, okay? And then when the prospect purchases through you on that Zoom call, you collect a percentage of the deal size when somebody signs up. And there'll be more on, commission percentages, how much you can earn, etc. in just a second. Okay, so let's dive into that. How much can you actually earn? Now, the commission structure, it varies between companies, but on average, a company will pay you 10 to 15% of the total deal size. So nice and simple maths. Let's say that, for example, what you're selling is $10,000. And the company pays 10% commission to their closers for every sale closed. That means, so 10% of $10,000, you'll make $1,000 per sale that you close. So typically on average in this industry, we're collecting anywhere really between $500 to $2,000 for every single deal that you close. Now, beyond just the commissions, you'll also get bonuses. Most companies will also have some kind of bonus structure in place. So, for example, a company I used to work for, they did every single week, they would give $1,000 to the top performer of that week, the closer who closed the most deals. Or, for example, at the end of the month, a $5,000 for hitting a certain number, hitting a certain target. And typically, you can earn an extra $1,000 to $5,000 every single month just in bonuses alone, okay? Just bonuses, an extra $1,000 to $5,000 a month on top of your commissions. Now, how much you'll earn, as we'll discuss in more detail, how much you'll earn will be based on three things. It'll be based on your skill level, which is what I cover in modules 1, 3, and 5, plus continuous live coaching with me. It will also be determined by your mindset and your beliefs, and that's what we cover in Module 2, again, alongside the live coaching. And then third and finally, it will be based on the company that you sell for, okay? And that's what we cover in Module 4 and the continued live coaching, okay? Getting in with an absolutely great company. With all this being said, what can you actually earn? Typically, as a closer, you can earn anywhere from $10,000 a month to $30,000 a month. Now, as a disclaimer, I do know closers who make upwards of $40,000 a month, $50,000 a month. I even know one particular guy who's made $80,000 in 1 month of closing. But the thing is that I give the $10,000 a month to $30,000 a month range because that's what's typical. Okay, somebody earning, $40, $50K a month. It is possible, but in my experience, it's fairly rare, okay? So the range I give is $10,000 a month to $30,000 a month, okay? But it is possible. It is possible to earn above that, okay? Now, $10,000 to $30,000 a month is quite a big range, right? And I've been in this industry for years. I've taken thousands of calls. I've worked alongside many, many different closers, some of the best closers in the world, and I've seen all different types of people earn different amounts of money. And ultimately, what that means is that I've been able to observe and know exactly what actually determines how much an individual closer will make. So let's dive into that. Now, below $10,000 a month, if you're a closer earning below $10,000 a month, just putting it bluntly, this is not good, okay? It's not good to be earning under $10K a month in closing. If you're earning below this, it's because something is going wrong, okay? To get specific, if you're earning below $10,000 a month, it will be because one of or a combination of the below things, either skill level, so your skill level is just not where it needs to be, and or the company that you're working for is just simply not good, okay? Maybe they've got bad lead flow, maybe they've got a bad product, a bad reputation. It'll be one of those things, okay? Earning $10,000 a month, or should I say earning below $10,000 a month in closing is not very good at all, okay? $10,000 a month is actually at the low end, okay? The next kind of level that we've got is $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month. So if you're earning between $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month, this is about what the average of what a decent closer makes. Okay, so typically, if you're earning this amount, you're at a stage of having either one or both of the below combinations. So skill level. So you're a decent closer. You've got decent skills. You're not incredible, but you're also not bad. Okay, you know what you're doing and you know how to close deals fairly regularly. and or the company that you're working for, the company you work for is good. Again, not amazing, but also not bad. You know, the company has good lead flow. It's got a good product. They've got some good reviews and a good reputation. Now, as a side note here, if your skill level is not that good, but you just happen to be working for an amazing company, you can still actually earn between 10 to 20,000 a month, right? I've worked for some companies, one particular in the past, a guy called Charlie Morgan, who had a great product, very good reputation, you know, hundreds of positive reviews. And so it was just very easy to close deals on that offer. You could actually come into that offer, not in all honesty be that good and still make 10, 15, 20,000 a month. But the thing is that we shouldn't rely on having poor skills but getting in with an amazing company, okay? So working with me, we are going to train you to get to a good skill level and then to get to an elite skill level, okay? So let's talk about that. Earning above 20,000 a month. And earning consistently above 20,000 a month is where we hit the life-changing money. This is the level that we have that financial freedom, that time freedom, and you're really looked up to and respected as the phenomenal provider for your family, okay? They look up to you, you know, their dad is a closer, okay? And this should be the goal. This is the goal for all my guys that I'm working with, to consistently earn above 20,000 every single month, okay? And to earn above 20,000 a month consistently, you'll need a combination of skill level, so you'll need to be a highly skilled closer. You rarely make mistakes, you know exactly what you're doing, and you have everything on point, everything dialed in. You've got your skills right, your mindset right, and you're working for a good company. And the company that you're working for is a good company, okay? It's got a good product, they've got a good reputation, they've got good reviews, etc. And I've summarized this in the below table, okay? So you'll see below 10,000 a month, you know, not good, absolutely not good to earn below 10,000 a month in closing. 10 to 20,000 a month is about the average of what a decent closer makes. And above 20,000 a month, this is the goal, okay? This is really where I'm looking to get all my guys that I'm working with to consistently making above 20,000 a month. And for that, you'll need to be highly skilled and work for a good company, okay? Now, the fun part, what is the benefits of being in high ticket sales? In other words, being a high ticket closer. Number one is the obvious one, lucrative income potential. Because high ticket closing allows you to earn multiple six figures a year. By the way, by closing just a few deals a week, okay? Let me break down the maths quickly. So for example, let's say that you close 5 deals per week, which is one per day, a $5,000 product with 10% commission, you'll earn $120,000 a year by closing just one deal a day, okay? And typically you'll be conducting, 4, 5, 6 calls a day. So very, very easy to do that. Or if you're closing 5 deals per week, or again, closing 1 deal per working day at $10,000 with a 10% commission, you'll be making more like $250,000 per year. Again, by closing just 1 deal a day, bearing in mind you're going to be having 4, 5, 6 calls every single working day, okay? So that's the obvious one, making a ton of money, essentially, putting it bluntly. But the second one is time freedom, because the thing is, high ticket sales, high ticket closing, it focuses on fewer but higher value deals. And what that means is you don't need to grind out like 12-hour days or chase hundreds of small transactions, which I see so many sales professionals doing. They're, selling something for very small amounts of money, and therefore they have to really grind out those long, long days. But in high ticket sales, you can create a schedule that works for you and your family while earning great money and often only working 6, 7, maximum 8 hours a day. I've experienced this firsthand, guys. I'm not going to say that, there is training required, but let me tell you guys, I've had days where I've worked in total 3, 4 hours. I made about $1,000 in a day, okay? Most sales reps out there are just not able to do that because they're focusing on chasing, again, hundreds of those small transactions. We are focused on fewer volume, but higher transaction deals. It's just so much more of an efficient way to make great money while still actually having a lot of time freedom, okay? Now, the third one is location freedom, because in high ticket sales, we work remote. And what does that mean? It means that all you need to work is a laptop and an internet connection. So you might choose to work from home, or some closers that I know, they actually rent their own office for, $500 a month, something like that. You could go traveling, or you can move to another country, okay? So let's say that, right now you're maybe based in the USA or the UK, which is a fairly, high cost of living. You could move to a cheaper country. So, there's a lot of different examples of that, but you can move to a cheaper country, work from there, and then you're earning the big money, the multiple 6 figures a year, but actually the country, but your expenses are way, way lower. Because you're remote, you can move to wherever you want, okay? Ultimately, you can work wherever you want when you're in high ticket sales. The fourth one is fast income growth. I really, really mean that. fast income growth. This can all happen very quickly, guys, which is the beautiful thing about closing. So when you think about a traditional, working your way up the corporate ladder, it can take decades, guys. I've seen this. It can take decades until guys are in their 40s, 50s, 60s to start earning decent money. It's the same thing with building a business from scratch. It can take often years, sometimes decades, to begin seeing decent results and making decent money. But the beautiful thing about what we're doing as closers is that you can be earning literally life-changing money within a matter of months. I really, really mean that. I have seen guys as young as 21 years old. Specifically, there was a guy I used to work with. He was called Sebastian. He was 21 years old at the time. He came into high-ticket sales with no prior experience. And within just 1 year, he was making about $250,000 a year. So at 21 years old, in 1 year, he was making more than, for example, a doctor or a lawyer. Okay, this is fast, guys. This can change financially your life very, very rapidly. Fifth, skills that pay you for a lifetime. So success in high-ticket closing, it's not about luck, not one bit. It's about mastering a skill. And the skill of being able to close high-ticket sales at high-ticket price points, again, $5,000 to $15,000, this is one of, if not the most valuable money-making skill that you can ever have. And you will take this with you for an entire lifetime. Now, to illustrate this, there was actually a recent survey of billionaires. And these billionaires were asked, what was the number one thing that led to your success? And over 80% of them said it was their ability to sell, okay? So you are now learning the most valuable financial skill in the world. And again, this skill can pay you and your family for an entire lifetime. What I'm about to say, guys, I really, really mean this. I've experienced this firsthand. That once you know and master this skill of being able to close high-ticket sales, you will never ever have to worry about money again. Again, I really, really mean that. Once you've mastered this skill, you know that at any point you can go and work for a company and make $200,000, $300,000 a year, sometimes even upwards of that. Okay, you will never have to worry about money again. You will be set for life. I mean that. Sixth and finally, this is actually one of my personal favorites. This is AI/future-proof. And I can tell you guys, I've done a lot of research onto this, and I actually know personally a few guys that are very deep in working in the AI world. And I can tell you for a fact that over the next few years or the next few decades, many, many jobs out there are going to be taken or replaced by AI, okay? From my observation, the masses of people out there, they don't know what's coming, okay? They don't know just how much they are at risk of losing their jobs. But you guys, as closers, you are future-proofed with high-ticket sales because AI is not going to be able to replace high-ticket closers. Why? Because by the very nature of what we do, our very job is to connect with other human beings, right? To have a human conversation. Companies quite literally hire you to connect on an emotional level with other human beings, okay? And believe me, guys, if these companies could sell high-ticket products and services by just having a buy now button online, trust me, guys, they would. But the thing is, they can't. And that's why they need to hire us. Because when people are buying high-ticket products and services that are priced, $3,000 and up, it's often a significant purchase to that person, and therefore they want a conversation with another human being. And trust me, no matter how good AI gets, people, when making significant investments, they will want to talk to another human being. That will be a constant for the next, hundreds of years. And high-ticket sales will be one of, if not in my opinion, the very last thing that AI can replace, if ever. I personally don't think that AI is going to ever be able to replace this, no matter how good the technology gets, okay? So while the masses of people out there, their jobs are going to get replaced, not ours, okay? We are in a perfect, prime position to take advantage of what's coming in the future, okay? Now, lastly, guys, a question that I often get is who hires for these roles? And typically there are 5 different types of companies who will hire high-ticket closers. By the way, there are more than 5 types of companies, but these are the 5 most common. So you've got, first off, agencies. So you think about marketing agencies, sales agencies, AI agencies is becoming quite a big thing now, email agencies. Actually, the first ever role that I got closing was for a marketing agency, a company called Fitness Marketing Agency, FMA. They ran marketing for gyms. That was my first closing role. The second one is what we call online education businesses. So people that sell high-ticket courses, high-ticket online training programs. Then thirdly, we've got online coaching businesses. So people that sell online coaching programs or packages. And then we've got online consulting businesses. And then lastly, we've got software businesses. So companies that sell high ticket software solutions. And like I mentioned earlier, on average, what you'll be selling will be between $5,000 to $15,000. It might be slightly lower, might be slightly higher, but this is about the average, $5,000 to $15,000. And you'll be earning, on average, 10 to 12% of every deal that you close. Again, you only need to make one sale a day, to make that life-changing money, okay? If you start talking like more making 2 sales a day, then your life will completely change. I've experienced this firsthand. Now, by the way, guys, in Module 4, you'll learn in a lot more detail what the difference can be working with these companies, because there are differences between, for example, a marketing agency or selling software or online education. There's some certain differences, and you'll be able to find out which particular type of company will suit you best, okay? But for now, this is about giving you an overview, and then we'll get into the more specific details as you progress through working together and progress through the program, okay? So in summary, guys, high-ticket sales, or as it's often referred to, high-ticket closing, it involves selling on behalf of an established company, typically via a Zoom call. And what you'll be selling is a high-ticket product or services or service which will be priced above $3,000, but more typically priced between $5,000 to $15,000. And what happens is that company runs online marketing, which produces potential customers, or you can also call them prospects, who book in a day and time for a Zoom call to find out more information and potentially buy it. Okay, and for every single prospect who signs up and purchases on your call, you will collect on average 10 to 15% of the deal size. Okay, so on average, you're going to be collecting between $500 to $2,000 for every single deal that you close. Okay, and like I mentioned, you can earn anywhere from $10,000 a month up to $30,000 a month. Okay, there are closers that make more than that, but it's fairly rare. That's about the average, $10,000 a month to $30,000 a month. And again, that's quite a big range, right? So how much you'll earn will be determined by 3 factors: by your skills, by your mindset, and by the company that you work for, okay? And being a high-ticket closer can benefit your life in astronomical ways, guys. Astronomical ways. I've experienced this firsthand, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, okay? These astronomical ways it can benefit your life includes giving you the financial freedom and the time freedom that you desire. Remember, we're focused on higher ticket items, okay? So rather than chasing hundreds of small transactions, we're doing fewer calls, but collecting a lot more, okay? And it just ultimately means it's a lot more efficient. You can make great money while actually having a lot of time freedom, okay? And then lastly, we cover here that you'll typically be working on behalf of one of these 5 types of companies, either agencies, online education businesses, online coaching businesses, online consulting businesses, or software businesses. So, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure, okay? Hopefully this has given you a really good foundational understanding of what high-ticket sales is, how much you can earn, what the benefits of it are, and I will see you in the next video.